This video was made in collaboration with Narutopedia. For more information, check out the link in the description. The life of Neji Hyūga from Naruto. Neji Hyūga was a shinobi of Konohagakure's Hyūga clan. Though a prodigy even by the Hyūga's standards, Neji was a member of the clan's branch house. No matter how skilled he became, he would always be in service to the Hyūga's main house, a fact that convinced him fate was predetermined. After experiencing Naruto Uzumaki's refusal to be limited by such an ideology, Neji realized his fate was what he chose it to be, and as a member of Team Guy, he sought the strength necessary to make the future he wanted for his family and friends, and ultimately sacrificed his life to protect the very same person who taught him about the freedom of one's choice of fate, Naruto. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Neji Hyūga. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Background: Neji was born the son of Hisashi Hyūga, placing him in one of the Hyūga clan's branch houses. When the heiress of the main house, Hinata, turned 3 years old, Neji's forehead was branded with the customary cursed seal by his uncle, Hiyashi. Despite how young he was at the time, Neji's natural talent with the Hyūga's trademark techniques were apparent to his father. For this reason, Hisashi resented that Neji was marked with a cursed seal, as he felt it bound him to a life of service to the main house when he should be destined for greater things. His anger would often manifest subconsciously, prompting Hiyashi to activate Hisashi's cursed seal and punish him with pain, an act that traumatized Neji. Shortly after Neji received his cursed seal, a Kumogakure head ninja visiting Konoha took advantage of a peace treaty and attempted to kidnap Hinata in order to gain the secrets of the Byakugan. Hiyashi stopped and killed the head ninja. In what became known as the Hyūga affair, Kumo denied the allegations made against his head ninja and insisted Hiyashi's actions were a declaration of war by Konoha. The only way to avoid hostilities between the two villages would be if Hiyashi's body were turned over to Kumo as compensation. Hiyashi was willing to do so if it meant protecting Konoha, but that in turn would give Kumo the Byakugan. Hisashi, Hiyashi's twin brother, volunteered to be his body double since his curse seal would destroy his Byakugan at the time of his death, a fate he insisted upon over Hiyashi's protests. Neji was too young to understand what was happening at the time, and over the years came to believe his father had been forced to die for the main house. Neji became spiteful towards the members of the main house for what he believed they had done to his father. When he graduated from the academy at the top of his class, he was added to Team Guy, where his philosophy placed him at odds with one of his teammates, Rock Lee. Lee wanted to become a great ninja despite his limitations, which Neji believed was impossible. Tenten was easily wowed by Neji, but Lee became determined to defeat Neji in a fight to prove him wrong. Their instructor, Might Guy, encouraged this, believing competition and the drive to succeed would push them to new heights. Chūnin Exams. After being held back from entering the Chūnin Exams the year before in order to hone their skills, Team Guy takes part in the Chūnin Exams occurring in Konoha. Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee decide to try and avoid drawing attention to themselves so the other competitors will not team up against them, something they accomplish by allowing themselves to be bullied and acting defenseless when they are. During the first exam, Neji uses his Byakugan to copy off the other examinees' tests. After they pass to the second stage, taking place in the Forest of Death, Team Guy splits up to search for weak rival teams that they can take one of the scrolls they need from. Neji comes across Team 10 during his search, who, although he isn't willing to pretend he doesn't know where they're hiding, he decides are too weak for him to bother with. When he returns to Team Guy's rendezvous point, he and Tenten find that Lee is uncharacteristically late. They go looking for him and find that he's been defeated by Team Dosu. Neji prepares to fight them, confident he can beat them, but decides to let Sasuke Uchiha fight them instead after he senses Sasuke's chakra. Sasuke drives Team Dosu off, and while Tenten collects Lee, Neji observes Sasuke, intrigued by his skills. Team Guy completes the second test, but in order to qualify for the finals, they must take part in one-on-one preliminary matches. Neji observes the early matches to learn about people he may face in the finals before he is finally matched against Hinata Hyūga. Neji, who previously promised to Might Guy that he would not take any actions against Hinata during the exams, encourages Hinata to give up not only the match but also the life of a ninja, citing her meek personality and her lack of talent. His piercing analysis of her brings Hinata to tears, but she is motivated to continue by the encouragement of Naruto Uzumaki. In their first exchange of gentle fist blows, Neji seals her tenketsu, causing her attacks to have no effect on him. Despite no longer having a way to damage Neji, Hinata keeps fighting. He continues encouraging her to forfeit and increases the amount of damage his blows do to her, but Hinata refuses to back down. Finally, after her internal organs are left badly injured and she has difficulty standing, Hinata uses Neji's words against him, arguing that he cares so much about destiny and being worthy of the Hyūga because his own destiny deprives him of the Hyūga's recognition. Neji is enraged and moves to kill her, but he is held back by Guy and the other observing Jonin. Nevertheless, Hinata collapses and is left in a critical condition from her injuries. Neji is declared the winner, and Naruto, moved by Hinata's perseverance and angered by Neji's actions, vows to defeat him during the finals. After the preliminaries conclude, the first round matchups for the finals are selected and Neji is matched against Naruto. After a month of preparation, Naruto and Neji face each other. Naruto starts by using shadow clones to engage Neji, trying to overwhelm his taijutsu skills with sheer numbers. Neji's Byakugan is unable to tell shadow clones from the real Naruto, and for that reason Naruto is able to land some blows, but Neji deflects them with the revolving heaven, and eventually seals Naruto's chakra with 64 palms. Neji declares Naruto a failure who is destined to lose to him, a genius. When Naruto is unwilling to believe him, Neji explains his father's death and the differences between the Hyūga's houses. Rather than convince Naruto that he is right, his words convince Naruto that Neji is wrong, as Naruto has personal experience with persevering despite others' expectations. Although his own chakra is cut off, Naruto has another source, the Nine Tails. Neji is surprised by it and, unaware of what it is startled by the chakra's ferocity. Naruto's speed and strength are heightened dramatically, allowing him to keep up with Neji. Neji uses revolving heaven to deflect a particularly powerful blow, flinging both him and Naruto apart. When the smoke clears, Naruto appears defeated, and Neji, assuming he's won, begins boasting. As he talks, Naruto bursts from the ground beneath him, knocking him out with an uppercut to the chin. Realizing that the Naruto he saw defeated was a shadow clone covering the hole the real Naruto was digging towards him, Neji scolds himself for being defeated by Naruto's signature ability. In response, Naruto reveals that clone techniques were once his worst ability. Before he's declared the winner, Naruto tells Neji to stop holding his natural genius back with trivial concerns about fate. As Neji recovers, he is visited by his uncle, Hiyashi, who is observing his match. Hoping to correct Neji's misconceptions, he explains the truth surrounding Neji's father's death, that Hisashi chose to die not in service to the main house as Neji had long thought, but because he wanted to protect Hiyashi, his brother. In doing so, Hisashi selected his own fate. In the anime, this is revealed to Neji in a letter written by his father before his death, Neji recognizing his father's handwriting. Neji does not believe the story since he's only hearing it now. Hiyashi, having expected this and having no further proof, bows to Neji and begs his forgiveness for not telling him sooner. Neji is moved to tears by the gesture and bids Hiyashi to stand, finally believing him. While watching the birds outside, Neji decides he'd like to choose his destiny just like his father did, and that he wants his destiny to be to never lose again. Konoha Crush. In the anime, two Kumogakure ninja attempt to kidnap an unconscious Hinata during the confusion caused by the invasion of Konoha. The Hyūga elder sends Neji, Tenten, and Kiba Inuzuka to rescue her. Once they catch up with them, Neji draws the Kumonin away while Tenten and Kiba escape with Hinata. He is able to defeat one, but is no match for Sekie's abilities, and can only keep him busy until Hiyashi arrives to defeat him. Several days after the invasion is successfully repelled, Neji attends the third Hokage's funeral. Sasuke Recovery Mission. Although Konoha emerges from the invasion victorious, the village suffers numerous casualties that leave it understaffed in the aftermath. When Sasuke Uchiha defects to Otogakure, the only response the new 5th Hokage is able to organize is the Sasuke Recovery Team, a team of genin led by Shikamaru Nara. Neji, who is recommended for the team by Lee, watches their backs with his Byakugan while they follow Sasuke's escorts, the Sound 4. Once they catch up with the Sound 4, Neji uses his Byakugan to help him plan their attack, which is foiled by the unforeseen actions of Ukon. The recovery team is trapped in Jirobo's Earth Prison Dome of magnificent nothingness. Neji is able to locate a weakness in the prison's fortifications and they escape, but they must leave Choji Akamichi behind to delay Jirobo while they go after the remaining Sound 4. Once they catch up again, Kidomaru uses his webbing to bind them. Only Neji, with the refined chakra control courtesy of his gentle fist training, is able to break Kidomaru's webs. He tells the others to go on without him, but first warns them that one-on-one fights are probably going to be a continuing trend. Kidomaru tries to toy with Neji, binding his movements to the point that he cannot use his hands to break the webbing. Thinking Neji is defeated, Kidomaru moves closer to finish him off. Neji takes that opportunity to release chakra from his entire body, loosening the webs and giving him an opening to use 64 palms. Kidomaru prevents the sealing of his tenketsu with an armor of sticky gold and falls back, unwilling to let Neji trick him like that again. He starts attacking Neji from afar to determine the range of his vision and the completeness of his defenses. From this observation, he starts to suspect Neji's Byakugan has a blind spot, something he confirms upon further testing. Kidomaru recognizes Neji as a formidable opponent and makes to finish him off with his Spider War Bow, Terrible Split, firing it directly at Neji's blind spot. However, Neji, guessing his blind spot had been discovered, is able to dodge enough to prevent being struck in a vital place. Kidomaru modifies his arrows, increasing their speed and strength so that Neji won't be able to dodge, and attaching a thread to them so he can guide them in flight. Neji realizes he can't avoid it and allows himself to be hit. He immediately afterwards sends a charge of chakra through the connecting thread back to Kidomaru, paralyzing him. Neji then personally locates Kidomaru and delivers a fatal blow. As he dies, Kidomaru warns that the recovery team won't be able to bring Sasuke back to Konoha. Neji disagrees, believing that Naruto alone will be able to get through to Sasuke, just as he got through to Neji during the Chūnin Exams. Neji is left in a critical condition due to his injuries and near death. Konoha eventually sends the medic corps after the recovery team. Neji is found, brought back to Konoha, and a team of medics mends his wounds using the healing resuscitation regeneration technique. In Naruto's footsteps, the friends' paths. In the anime, Konoha and Suna hold a joint Chūnin exam 2 years after Naruto's departure, which Team Guy once again enters. During the first exam, Neji, Lee, and Tenten are seated in different rooms and are tasked with getting a combined score of exactly 100 points on their written test, despite their separation. Thinking it over, Neji comes up with the idea of producing vibrations on the walls to communicate to Tenten and Lee which questions to answer. After the initial testing period is over, they are given a bonus question. Each team must unanimously select one of their members to disqualify from the rest of the exams. Team Guy selects nobody, which is the correct answer and which qualifies them for the next phase. Those who pass the first test must reach the Demon Desert within 3 days in order to participate in the second exam. Team Guy successfully does so, and they are given the same objective as they had in the exam several years ago: obtain a scroll from another team. They are early on caught in various genjutsu set by members of Team Shira, one of which causes them to wander into quicksand. Once Team Guy escapes and manages to track down Team Shira, they instead offer Team Shira assistance, helping them drive off another team. When asked why they would help, Neji explains that Shira is quite similar to Lee. Lee in fact finds himself so similar to Shira that he follows the attacking team out of anger, forcing Neji, Tenten, and Team Shira to go after him and rescue him. Teams Guy and Shira get along well, and after Lee and Shira spar, the two teams agree to meet up during the finals. They later come across Team Ajisai and are immediately engaged in combat. Team Ajisai retreats shortly afterwards but are pursued by Team Guy, who believe they have the scroll they need. Their chase leads them to some old ruins, and during the ensuing fight, Tenten and Ajisai fall through a collapsed floor. Neji recommends to Ajisai's teammates that they stop fighting in order to look for Tenten and Ajisai. The teammates agree, but leave to do so by themselves. Neji and Lee follow them despite this, coming to their aim when Team Komugi attacks them. Team Komugi is driven off, and Teams Guy and Ajisai finally start working together. They eventually reunite with Tenten and Ajisai, who have become friends during their ordeal. The two teams part peacefully. Team Guy gets caught in a sandstorm, from which they seek shelter in one of Tenten's protective domes. After the storm clears, they come across Matsuri, who asks that they help Gaara. Team Guy rushes to the scene and finds not only Gaara but also Fu, both of them Jinchuriki, are having their tailed beasts extracted by Hoichi. While Lee and Fu's teammates distract Hoichi, Neji approaches Gaara and Fu to block their chakra points, halting the extraction. Hoichi's jutsu turns on him due to the severed connection, and Neji, at Gaara's request, blocks his chakra points too, saving him. Gaara and Fu separately thank Neji for his help, with Fu even specially requesting that he become her friend. Team Guy is not able to acquire the scroll they need, but it ends up not mattering. The Chūnin exams are prematurely cancelled. The remaining participants have a report on their performance sent back to their villages, leaving their promotion up to their superiors. The 5th Hokage promotes all of Team Guy to Chūnin and then gives Neji an additional promotion to Jonin because of the assistance he gave to Gaara, the Kazekage. Kazekage Rescue Mission. The 5th Hokage sends Team Guy to assist Team 7 in rescuing the 5th Kazekage from Akatsuki. While en route to an Akatsuki lair in the Land of Rivers, Team Guy is attacked by Kisame Hoshigaki. Kisame is only interested in fighting Might Guy, so he traps Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee in water prisons. Neji is eventually able to build up enough chakra to break free and release Lee and Tenten, but they miss their chance to rejoin the fight as Guy has already defeated Kisame. While examining the body afterwards, however, they discover it was only a look-alike meant to stall them. Once they rendezvous with Team 7, they discover a barrier placed over the entrance to the Akatsuki lair. Neji uses his Byakugan to locate where the seals maintaining the barrier are, and he and the rest of Team Guy split up to remove them. Once the barrier is down, however, they are attacked by duplicates of themselves. Neji, like the rest of Team Guy, struggles to defeat himself, and it is only by becoming stronger than he was at the time the duplicate was created that he is able to defeat his. Team Guy reunites with each other after winning their battles, and they go after Team 7, arriving in time to cut off Datara's attempt to get away. Datara uses a suicide bombing clone to create an opening for him to escape. Although the Akatsuki members are gone and the Kazekage has been retrieved, the Kazekage has died. He is resuscitated by Chiyo, who exchanges her life for this, and they all attend her funeral in Sunagakure a few days later. Kakashi Haruke, too tired from his fight with Akatsuki, must be carried back to Konoha by Guy. Lee believes that this is a special trading method and asks to be allowed to carry Neji in the same way, but Neji flatly refuses. Akatsuki Suppression Mission. In the anime, Neji attends Asuma Saratobi's funeral. Pain's Assault. Team Guy returns to Konoha after completing a mission. As they approach the village's outskirts, they find a defeated Gamabunta, who informs them of the ongoing invasion of Pain. They rush back to the village and, upon arrival, find Neji Hyūga badly injured from her fight with Pain. Tenten assures Neji that Hinata's wounds aren't life-threatening, but he nevertheless locates immediate medical attention for her. They are shortly afterwards informed that Pain has been defeated by Naruto Uzumaki, and they all join in the celebration when Naruto returns to the village. 5 Kage Summit. News reaches Konoha of Sasuke Uchiha's recent activity with Akatsuki, specifically his attack against Kumogakure Ninja. Neji and the rest of the Konoha 11, sans Naruto, decide that Sasuke can no longer be allowed to implicate Konoha in his criminal deeds, and they resolve to personally kill him. When Naruto returns after learning of this and having his own confrontation with Sasuke, he requests that they leave dealing with Sasuke to him. Power. In the anime, Neji is part of a team of reinforcements sent to Tonika Village to help Team 7 in the fight against Kabuto Yakashi. He rescues Hinata from the nine-tailed Naruto clone and later helps evacuate the villagers when the clone starts going berserk. Naruto eventually defeats it and they return to Konoha. 4th Shinobi World War. Confrontation. When the 4th Shinobi World War begins, Neji is placed alongside Hinata in the 2nd Division. Their entire division is sent to intercept a large segment of the White Zetsu army, which Neji and Hinata join forces in attacking after Kitsuchi unearths the Zetsu army. Although the Zetsu suffer heavy casualties, their numbers are too great and the fight becomes one of attrition. Neji, growing tired of the prolonged battle, has some of his chakra absorbed by a Zetsu before he can fend it off. Unbeknownst to him, the Zetsu later uses the chakra to impersonate him and infiltrate the logistical support and medical division, killing 5 medical nin. He and Hinata continue fighting into the night, protecting each other. Once night falls, Neji is too tired to stand, but also too stubborn to get medical attention, opting instead to rest on Akamaru's back. In the anime, on the 2nd day of fighting, Neji is confronted by a reincarnated Kidomaru. Stronger now than he was when he last fought Kidomaru, Neji frees his allies that have been trapped by Kidomaru's webbing, and then easily defeats him with 8 trigrams vacuum palm. This activates a seal that leaves Neji comatose and traps his and the souls of the other Sasuke Recovery Team's members in a barrier where they are now forced to fight the Sound 4 until their real bodies eventually die. Aware of Naruto's new ability to sense negative emotions, Shikamaru Nara provokes the Sound 4 during their battle, making them angry enough to attract Naruto's attention. Naruto soon arrives, breaks through the barriers, and with help from Inoichi Yamanaka, restores the souls to their bodies. The 2nd Division's fight with the Zetsu army continues until one of Naruto's shadow clones arrives to finish off all that remain. In the anime, Naruto arrives just in time to save Hinata from a Zetsu that Neji, preoccupied elsewhere, was not present to stop. He is grateful for Naruto's assistance. Fourth Shinobi World War, Climax. Neji and the rest of the allied shinobi forces are sent to assist Naruto in his battle with the Ten Tails. Recognizing how crucial Naruto is to the war's victory, Neji, Hinata, and Hiashi join forces to block attacks directed at him. The Ten Tails' attacks rapidly become too numerous, and Neji and Hiashi must break away to protect the other allies from the Ten Tails too. In their absence, the Ten Tails fires several volleys of wood projectiles at Naruto, which Hinata uses her body to defend him from. Neji arrives in time to protect her in turn with his own body, mortally wounding him. Naruto calls for a medic, but Neji accepts the fact that he can't be saved. He collapses over Naruto's shoulders and tells him not to put his life at risk in the future, as he is now responsible for many other lives in addition to his own, one of which is Hinata's. As Neji watches Hinata cry for him, Naruto questions why Neji would give his life for him, to which Neji responds that it was because once Naruto called him a genius. Neji dies, noting that he finally knows what it was like for his father to choose to die for his friends. Upon death, the Hyūga main family's Juinjutsu activates, sealing his Byakugan. Time Slip Arc. In the anime, when the grown-up Sasuke and Boruto Uzumaki were sent back in time to shortly after Sasuke's defection, the two pretended to be traveling performers and were put under watch by Naruto. Past Neji and his friends helped Boruto and Naruto clean up a bathhouse after the commotion Naruto and Jiraiya caused. Days later, after completing a training session with Hinata, Neji noticed Boruto eavesdropping and confronted him. Having noticed Boruto through his Byakugan, and seeing that he was troubled, offered to talk to him. The two head to a nearby bridge where Boruto admitted to having been exposed to the berserk power inside of Naruto, and talked about being attacked. Neji insisted that Naruto is not one to be pitied, and that he could be trusted. Neji told Boruto of his own experience and growth with Naruto, insisting that he learned from Naruto's example to not let one's past define them, and claimed that despite Naruto's lonely and sorrowful life, he was capable of fighting his fate of being deemed a monster, and persevered to become a trusted friend and comrade. Neji's words helped cheer up Boruto, who decided to continue his training with Naruto and refused to allow his fears to overwhelm him, and as Boruto runs off, Neji mumbles that he should have asked for Boruto's name. Legacy. Obito Uchiha uses Neji as an example of the type of countless death that will keep occurring if Naruto and the allied shinobi forces continue fighting. Rather than mourn Neji by surrendering, they celebrate his sacrifice with a counterattack in his memory. Naruto gives version 1 cloaks to the entire allied forces, and they maneuver into a bird-shaped formation, together breaking out of a prison created by the Ten Tails, and subsequently releasing it from Obito and Madara Uchiha's control. After the war is won, Neji's body is taken back to Konoha, where he is buried alongside the many other casualties. Though he is gone, he remains in the thoughts of those who knew him. In Konoha Hiden, Rock Lee regularly dreams of Neji, but the dreams never last long enough for Lee's liking. At Naruto and Hinata's wedding, Hanabi Hyūga holds a picture of Neji during the ceremony. Years later, Hinata regularly visits Neji's grave with her daughter, Himawari Uzumaki, who, though she never met him, regards him as her uncle. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.